I'm Kathryn Herman. I'm a member of the Institute of Classical Architecture and Art. Please join me for a tour of my garden. So here we are on a very atmospheric morning. Just wanted to talk a little bit about the house and its history. Here we've got a view of the original Pepperidge Farm house. That was the main house. We bought the side that had the Grooms Cottage and the garage. This is a pepperidge tree. Botanical name is Nyssa sylvatica, the tree that the property takes its name from. So this was the Grooms Cottage. It was much smaller. We hired Ferguson and Shimamian. We worked with Oscar Shimamian, Stephen Chrisman, and his team to do an addition to this building that would make it look as if it had always been there. And you can see that they did a very beautiful job. We've been very pleased with it. Here is the side of the house that was original. What's added is where the doorway is and all of this that you see. So it's a very seamless addition. I love the curved door, very charming. And I think one of the most tricky things that the builder had to do, which was Tallman Building, is they had to work within literally just a few feet of these magnificent U, Taxus, Ex Medii, Hicksii muffins. Is what I like to call them because they do really look like muffins. This is the garage building, and so this building was built to house the original owner's collection of cars. We use this for guests to stay in the apartment above and just store a lot of stuff in the bottom. One of my favorite things on the property is probably this elm tree that you see towering over the building. We've been having some issues with it a couple of years ago, but we've been treating it and it's responded really, really well. It's something that was here and it's something that we've, always keep an eye on because of its size and proximity to the house. It's just such a fabulous tree and it's so sad what would have happened to the elms that really disappeared out of the landscape. And we were so fortunate that we have so many great things on this property that we just sort of inherited, but over the years I've definitely been building on the garden. These are actually privet hedges here that you see that have been in that shape since the day we bought it. We bought the house back in 1998. And then what's down on the slope is a Nomo fescue. Because this is a slope, the house is elevated. I think we talked about the original architect. I think what he was trying to achieve was to have the house be up the same elevation as both the garage, which is in this direction, as well as the main house, which is, you can see off in the distance. So hence this is sort of elevated up on a plinth. All of this was originally an apple orchard, so there are just a few apples remaining on this. They're very long-lived, but I think we're pretty much there at their end of their lifespan. One of the most magnificent things on the property, especially at this time in spring, are the weeping cherries. And I'm always having to tell people that they're weeping cherries because they're frequently mistaken for weeping willows, but they're just really, really spectacular. They actually self-seed very well, and they have ended up sort of all over the property, which is kind of interesting. I'm gonna walk into the vegetable garden. This was just recently cleaned up and prepped, so I'm all set to go for the season. Just letting it settle a bit. This is actually the site of what had been a vegetable garden area. There had been a yew hedge, which is actually still there. That's what you see in front of you. It's a very beautiful weeping cherry in the corner. I came along and I've changed it. I fully enclosed the garden with this hedge. It is a yew hedge. I was very fortunate to be able to find the yew in a size that sort of matched what had been existing here. So it looks like it's been here all along. And then I've got beds that are just cut into lawn. And in the center of this garden, I have an old antique sundial. I found this when I was at a Chelsea flower show, and I think it's just a really beautiful thing to put in the center. It sort of anchors the space. The very back of this garden, you'll see a newly planted dogwood behind the bench. Originally, there had been lots of dogwoods back there, but they, again, have started to sort of fail over the years. So I love the idea of putting one back and seeing it grow.